Doc had his
Start
moments.
the game already.
And we look forward to this next one. Okay, and we're off. We have a 1 o'clock start and a 6 o'clock start. Jaydunk starting off with TCs. Albertoa starting off with TCs. 2 safe stone, fairly safe stone for Jaydunk. 2 stone for Albertoa, but that second one's not terribly safe, and we have a neutral off by 9 o'clock. 3 TC start for Albert, and a, wow, okay. Got 5 TCs for Jaydunk. Makes sense. What I do. Albertoa, 2 vills, 3 vills, moving forward. And Jaydunk with 5 vills forward. Albertoa sets his flag. Racks now, right down the middle. Checking numbers, 13 vills for Jaydunk, 13 for Albertoa. Hill queues are pretty equal, but should see Jaydunk pull ahead a little bit if he's utilizing that 5th TC properly. Jaydunk also setting up pretty defensively, while Albertoa is setting up more offensively. The reason you would do this is you're afraid of incursion. The reason you do this is to push your enemy, but there's also the risk of enemy getting in behind you. Either way, that's a really gnarly hill, and Albertoa is just painting it up with those long range towers. It'd be very difficult for anybody to punch through there. That's a what, 4-tier hill? Good lord. Okay, so Albertoa with first blood, at least first wood, battering down Arax. And Jaydunk Bills found that array of towers, and what are they trying to do? Oh, so he just tried to like blind paint, and his bills got cut up. That's what happened. And he is a little bit slow on the build out, but not so far behind. In fact, he's ahead now. Huh. He's decent. Man, this tower array is going to be a problem. What Jaydunk needs to do now is start painting west, or that's kind of difficult. Albertoa can easily choke point that off. Oh, I did. I'll fix that. It's just a 2-to-1, so damage uphill is 0.5, damage downhill is 2. I believe. I think that's how it works. But it's definitely more. You don't want to fight uphill. You do want to fight downhill and tower downhill. Jaydunk now. The tower's forward and sending some legs into Albert's economy, maybe? But Albert really painted this middle ground here, forcing Jaydunk to go outside, and that's always trouble. Albert now with a huge pump of legs moving down toward Jaydunk's primary Rax position, so that's going to be a little bit of a struggle, but there's some towers, should hold for a while. Let's check numbers again. So 83 to 121. Albertoa is pulling ahead in the pop count, and that's always trouble with Cho because it's hard to catch up. Looking again at Eco, Albert down on food, no bills on 2 bills on stone. Starting to build his farm count though, so it should be fine. I think the issue for Jaydunk is production. So, I mean, you can always hope Albert punches himself out. Just spams all his legs, doesn't have any food to back up, and then it's Jaydunk's turn. But, man, this is tough. One more big pump. Oh my god. There's just a huge mass of legs here coming from Albertoa now. That's going to be trouble. But Jaydunk ready to meet him. Albertoa microing, he sees it. Fighting downhill versus Jaydunk uphill. So again, not what you want. Let's fix that score, because that's just not fair. Might be prophetic, but it's not fair. Ugh. So Jaydunk pumping legs out, trying to batter down that smaller tower array on the 2-tier hill for Albertoa. Nothing else really happening here. Albertoa seems to, okay, he was focusing on something. Maybe he was laying down farms. He was doing something. But now he's microing both boards of legs. and he's getting ready to move in now. Yeah, it's hard to build out and check terrain and call a restart inside 2 minutes. You wouldn't want it to be any longer, I'm just saying, like at 2.0, difficult multitasking. Jaydunk doing all the right things though. And he's using towers where he should. Got some towers on a hill. The thing is, Jen, he could have claimed all this land. This was closer to him than it was to Albert, so it would have just been a battle of the hills, you know. But he just didn't build out very fast at all. What's going on over here? Why do we have blue dots and nothing? That's weird. What is that, like future vision? Massive legs now, pushing forward for Albertoa. I don't know what's going on there. They seem to be kind of caught, kind of a pathing issue, which does tend to happen. Plenty of legs here to take these towers down, so this position will soon be compromised. Looking at numbers again, 134 for Jaydunk, 214 for Albertoa. So you just have you got a numbers problem here, is what you got. Look at that. Those dots are there now. Or the farms are there. I saw dots, but nothing. And that's weird. Am I behind? I don't know how that happens. Anyway, pressure's mounting. Pressure's mounting on Jaydunk. He's done well. Done pretty well. Wow. Pretty much nothing but red. Okay. Alright, Jaydunk says, well played. And we've slowed down to 1.0. Alright, let's check numbers. Numbers. Ooh, pretty broad KDA ratio. Jaydunk did not get any bills on gold. Decent bill production. Timeline. Kind of battled back there a little bit around the 9-minute mark, but just couldn't bring it home. Alright, game 2, sorry. Game 2 we go. Let's give one to Albertoa. And we are off again, ladies and gentlemen. And game 2 coming up between Albertoa and Jaydunk. And they've switched colors. So Albert is yellow, Jaydunk is red. See, Albert got all of his vills on 1 TC. Jaydunk. Oh, that's interesting. Jaydunk actually got there faster, and now he's running. He's off and running. He's going to try to build faster. He's going to try to paint faster. And he has a really nice hollow here. I would have to say closer hill. That's a critical hill right there. I would expect Albert to paint towers there. But Jaydunk's got that hill, and that hill, and that hill. So he can pretty much do what he wants. And oh my god, Albertoa really going for the gusto here. Going forward, very, very far forward. And one thing is, you paint in a spot, your enemy can't paint in a spot. So this is a smart move. Now, he needs to finish these buildings, though, before Jaydunk gets his legs out, or it will have been a wasted effort. And here he comes. Leg getting hung up on a barracks, now getting stabbed in the back. Uh-oh. Alright, there we go. There you go. Alright, Jaydunk with a pump out then. Albertoa has claimed the hill that belonged to Jaydunk. That was... he kind of needed that. Jaydunk putting down a tower on the low ground. Alright, so... that's not as effective. And, man, Albertoa with a good number of racks here. Jaydunk now painting a hill to the right. Not really where he needs to be. He needs to contest this. And that's one of the keys with leg wars. You have to lock down area and try to take it from your enemy. He is painting towers on the back hill, just kind of for backup. Is Albertoa decided to seed this? Has he decided he's lost it, and now he's just going for towers? Huh. Because I see a lot more red than yellow right now. But Albertoa still building towers, and that will be helpful. If Jaydunk can get his leg numbers up in time to challenge these towers and take them down, that would be something. Lots of idle vills for Jaydunk. Let's check numbers. It's 86 to 41. Wow. Big margin for Jaydunk, and you can see it on the board. Jaydunk painting racks now toward 2 o'clock. And legs now moving forward to try to take these towers down. Can he do it? There goes one. Banging down a tower foundation. Not what you want. Albert now with a fair number of racks. And just like last game, seems like Jaydunk would benefit from a few more racks. Alright, he's got plenty of food, plenty of gold. He just really needs to up the production. And his margin is shrinking. Now it's 117, 119 to 75. We have any disturbances among ecos? No, not really. Jaydunk now starting to mass up some legs at the 2 o'clock position. Albertoa seems to have this hill locked down. Ugh, that's so rough. You just get a little bigger pump here, and he's got the food for it too, does Jaydunk. He's got the food for it. He's got so many on food too. 115 to 101. Margin still shrinking. Albertoa catching up. If Jaydunk's going to do something, he kind of needs to do it now. He has enough legs to kind of make this happen. Right now, he's just losing legs to that hill bonus. And Albert is massing up. 118 to 119. Numbers pretty much dead even now. Jaydunk still massing at home. And here we go. Here we go. Here's the incursion. Legs coming in. Albert notices. Can he do anything about it? Jaydunk sending some of his legs through this Valley of Doom right in front of a tower array. Now he kind of needs to sit back here. Move his legs back a little bit. Interrupting farms, banging down houses, killing vills. Albert sees it. He's responding to it. He's going to have to commit some resources to pumping out of the back now. And it's a survival game. I think the interruption is going to pay off somewhat. Okay, if this game ends soon, just give me a second. Take the dog out, so may not be back. Create a lobby right away. Okay, sounds good. Dogs wait for no man. Especially not these doughy Age of Empires players. Legs still coming in and getting picked off by Albert's tower array. Has enough numbers now to kind of repel this push. But it's kind of even now, red and yellow, on the main battlefield. So that's interesting. I mean, it seems like Albert's better at pumping numbers, right? So Jaydunk really needed that diversion. Still got food, still got gold. Albert down on food. 150 to 120. 154 to 119. Oh, man. Jaydunk needs to capitalize on this. If he can move quickly, this might work. Or maybe he's just getting better all around right now. It looks like Jaydunk has enough numbers to maybe tear down these towers now? I don't know. He has enough stone. He could lay down some more towers. Red still pouring into Albert's eco. Is he setting up farms anywhere else? This will be the problem, is food production for Albert. 20 on food now. That's something. And the margin is shrinking again. Albert's coming back. Wow, this is good. This is a good matchup. Alright, so Albert has cleaned up the disturbances in his eco. He's starting to build farms again. Jaydunk with a lot of idols. And still stone, so he could be putting down towers, and he is. Okay. Alright, so trying to block off this choke point here. Still trying to get these towers down. He's got 2. Oh man, this is something. And he decides to retreat. Okay. probably good move. Not too far though, bud. Wow. Okay, so Albert has now utilized all of his stone? He has. There's a neutral stone out there that somebody can get to. It's going to be more likely Jaydunk than Albertoa. Although, now that I say that, Legs moving into that tower array uncontested. So we shall see. Massing now, if Jaydunk moved his whole mass right now, he could probably make this happen. Will he do it? We'll see. 41 on food, none on gold yet. 56 idols, that's a big number. Needs to do something with those. Where are they? 36 idols now. Yeah, they're all right here. Okay, so they're kind of setting back now, just taking a breather, it looks like, and this is growing into quite a stalemate. But a lot more stone on Jaydunk's side. I think he has the pieces he needs to take this game if he can just get it together. Albert's house. Jaydunk now moving forward with a pretty decent sized leg army. He's gonna be slightly outnumbered here, but he does have the time advantage. Kind of attacked earlier. Jaydunk's still massing up. Still not confident enough to push up this hill, but I think now is the time. I think that now is the time when he does this, because, again, Albert's growing again. Man, these margins. Albert now with 49 on food. Here's where it gets dicey. Like, that's what I was saying, that time for Jaydunk to attack is probably a minute ago at this point. Albert's massing up, and it's going to be hard to tear those towers down and deal with those legs at the same time. A little bit of a conflict here. Albert massing up on the right side too. At a certain point, Albert's just going to charge down this hill, and I mean, he should be okay. Jaydunk's got a lot of towers. He really needs to get control of his eco here. Jay, 1,000 for stone, but he's got 2 full mines, that's the thing. And Albert's out. Albert is out of stone. He used his 2 safe. Jaydunk has that neutral. So, are you back from taking the dog out already? Wow. This is just so rough. And no! Jaydunk moving his legs north into that vicious tower array, that's just not going to work for him. I think it must have been a misclick. He didn't intend to do that. But the thing is, we can see a lot more than he can. So it's always easy to judge the battlefield decisions of the player who just has to deal with fog. Big mass on the right for Albert. He could do something with that. He could really disturb this eco. Jaydunk doesn't have any towers up towards the top. Jaydunk moving in again to Albert's eco. Maybe just thinking this is what he needs to do. And he does seem to have enough numbers now to tear down these towers. And is he moving villas forward? He really just needs to get up on that hill and take the hill. Come on, man. Get those towers up on the hill. These towers will all go down, though. Wow. Kind of a disturbance in Albert's eco. 139 to 155. Albert now moving into the right side. Try to take down these racks. I don't know if he knows where Jaydunk's eco is, but he can guess. He's just really trying to make inroads somewhere, anywhere. And Jaydunk now with 19 idle vills, most of them here. Will he put down a few more towers? He really needs to do that. This area is almost cleared now for him. He's got 69 on food. Some on gold now. Wow. Jaydunk also moving legs forward to challenge this push by Albert. He doesn't have the numbers, but Albert's not. Oh yeah, he just microed that. So now he's got both leg masses moving in to create some problems here for Jaydunk on the right side. His eco is, well, it's kind of vulnerable. I don't know if Albert knows that. Jaydunk with another raid. Still legs in Albert's eco, banging down houses. Albert housed again? No, not even close. He's okay. He is okay, and Albert has 53 on food, 12 on gold. Yeah, wow. Okay, back to Jaydunk. This area is all cleaned up. The conflict has moved to the right side now. Yeah, I know, Jen. That's always the trouble. But they're doing so much, you know? They can't have eyes everywhere. We see what's obvious. And that's always the struggle for the spectator. It looks winnable for Jaydunk. It really does. I'd like to see that just so we get kind of a drawn-out series here. Albert finally cleaning up the little raid from Jaydunk on the left side of his eco. Jaydunk now pushing forward with some legs on the left side, moving in to batter down towers. Good, good. Mass of legs on the right side, pretty much cleaned up. Albert trying to pick berries. A little bit of trouble there. Some confetti. Albert won't yet quite push into Jaydunk's eco. Jaydunk diverting some legs to the right to clean that up. Has the numbers now to pretty much take this whole area for himself. If he could just get some bills on stone, that would be something. I just don't know if he feels it's necessary or appreciates the value he can get out of it. Albert now pushing legs into Jaydunk's tower array, backing up a little bit, recognizing that's probably not a good move at this point. Jaydunk with the numbers on the left side, handling Albert on the right side. I sound like I'm rooting for Jaydunk. I'm really just rooting for a good game. 188 to 117. The margins again moving in Jaydunk's favor. He's been in the lead most of this time. Albert now painting the right side with more racks. He's got the food for it. Jaydunk needs to at least recognize this. Moving some bills into peril. But, oh, Albert sees it and micros the right click. Just shreds those bills. Oh my god. Jaydunk seeing an opportunity here. He's just blocked. He can't get into the eco when he wants to. So that's what's happening. He's trying to right click in the eco and he's going around this tower array, and that's a problem for him. He really needs to get on bills on stone and just paint this hill with towers, but he's not doing it. He hasn't done it yet. And Albert, oh my god. Is all his stone is gone, and he's effectively shored up his whole side of the eco. Jaydunk would just need to get huge to push through that. So I think he's satisfied that he's safe on the right now, Albert is, and he's starting to focus on the left side again. This is going to be the challenge for Jaydunk. Can he keep this? And he needs it. It's so close to his exposed eco, and he doesn't have many towers to defend. Incursion again. Problem here for Jaydunk is every time he moves in, he's in range of this massive tower array. And Jaydunk massing around his towers, that's a decent move, but he could probably get more value from being on the hill. Again, easy for us to say, easy for us to see. Big raid for now for Jaydunk into Albert's goldies. Probably won't bother Albert too much because he's got 7,000 gold, and that's plenty. Needs to get some more on food, though, Albert does. Starting to mass legs now onto the hill. He's been using this hill very effectively the whole game. Led to some big numbers for him. Big kill numbers. This push from Jaydunk is somewhat useful, I would say. Doesn't hurt Albert immediately, but it just creates kind of a nuisance distraction, and I think Jaydunk's going to claim this area back. Using bills now to batter down racks. And they don't have Jihad. They don't have Zealotry. The timeline, like... I mean, this has been the way it's been moving gradually throughout the game. Jaydunk can't seem to close it out. But now he has claimed that gold mine that Albert had, and he seems like he wants it. Has he? No, he still hasn't upgraded the Jihad, and he's moving in to try to take these towers down. And this area is somewhat vulnerable for Albert if he doesn't bolster it with legs, and now Jaydunk with the numbers on the left side, and I think he'll finally take down this area. Albert seeing it though, moving some legs south to try to challenge. I just don't think he's got the numbers, and Jaydunk is focusing elsewhere, but what he really needs to do, move those legs out. Seems like he's clicked them. Yeah, he's microing that now. More red than yellow, and more red all over the map. Is this getting to be GG? 241 to 78. That timeline is going to look pretty drastically in favor of Albert, and he calls it. And Jaydunk takes game 2. We have a series, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. scintillating game. The highs, the lows, the backs, the forths. Oh man, yes sir. So if Jaydunk watches this back, bud, just grab that stone. Use the towers more effectively. Let's look. Ow! Wow! Identical kills. That I expected to see more of a margin, but Albert's just very vicious. He kills very effectively. 135 to 99 is the bill count. And finally the timeline. Right? Jaydunk kind of had it at the beginning and then lost it and then just clawed and scraped to get it back over time and takes game 2. Ooh. Very nice, bud. Woj Tech. Yes, so far. So far. Okay, all right, game 3, guys. Here we go. Back to the action. It's Jaydunk at 3 and Albertoa at 10. We have a 2 TC start, 3 TC start. Jaydunk going again with probably 4 and 5. Not watching though. What's he doing? Oh, he was probably house scanning. That's the thing in DE like this. Actually, I don't know. Probably every version. You can house scan. You can try to build a building, and if it's red on the map, then you know your enemy's there, and that's probably what he was just doing. It did set him behind a little bit. Albertoa, once again, moving forward, trying to read the map and pick his spots. Jaydunk with 3 racks down now and a little bit behind as well. Man, yeah, whatever he was doing there that caused his vills to go astray, that did hurt him a little bit. Albertoa now with so many vills forward. But because Jaydunk's painting a little closer to home, he's got more racks up, and he's really pumping those legs out now. Albert has found a hill, painted a tower, and the action is closer to Jaydunk. So the challenge will be, can he find the places he needs to go to build out his infrastructure? And he just doesn't have much of a place. This might be a good situation. Oh, he can't. We're past 2 minutes, so this is the game. This is the game we're stuck with, the hand he's been dealt. Albert claiming the ground that Jaydunk really kind of needed to claim for himself. And it's just going to come down to how fast can he pump now. There's so much more red on the map than we see blue. Ooh, oh boy. All right, Albert microing his legs back. He's going to seek the protection of this big tower array that he painted up on the hills, and he's really good at that. But now seemingly feeling like he can march forward, and there he goes. No, deciding better, but moving back again, just kind of waiting on the numbers. And again, so much more red on the map than we see blue. 87 to 80, so Albert has a little bit of the numbers margin right now. Very gracious of you, Chen. Very gracious indeed. Let's just hope. Let's hope he's learned his lesson. Zala. Jaydunk has pretty much shored up his home position. I don't know. I think maybe he has. This is going to be a problem here. There's that neutral stone, and yeah, okay. So if he can secure this and get that third stone and make use of it, I think he's got a way to come back. But that second stone of his is very badly compromised. That's going to be a problem. Jaydunk has created a pretty formidable front here. He's being battered down by 2 towers on the hill. If Albert could put 2 or 3 more towers there, he'd really have something and create problems. Jaydunk now with the numbers moving in. Let's look here, 133 to 112. So Albert falling behind again. I wonder if we just saw kind of a rocky start for Jaydunk. He seems to know what he's doing. Nobody on stone yet. Some on food. 10 on food for Albert and 22 on food for Jaydunk. So he has the eco that he needs to keep pumping. Will he move into this area? He really kind of needs to. There's still more red on the map than we see blue. And that just means more buildings, more eco potential. Albert has a very safe corner to operate in. And Jaydunk moving legs to the south now. Maybe planning to circle around. Either way, Albert can't really charge through this corridor. He's going to be met with a choke point and towers. So he needs to win here. Jaydunk can't let that happen, and this area is just kind of lost for the time being. No player can take it. Albert now moving into that choke point, seeing now that that's being covered by towers, moving through. Jaydunk moving in. He's going to be met by buildings, though. That's a lot of legs to commit for nothing. Oh, that's unfortunate. And he's moving legs away from this push by Albertoha, who's really just kind of moving around looking for something to kill. Doesn't quite yet know where Jaydunk's eco is. I think soon we'll see him micro that. Let's check on the action in the middle of the map. Albert still working hard to claim this area. Let's look at the timeline. Pretty dead even. Looks like Jaydunk has the numbers still. We'll look at the actual numbers here in a second. We can tell you Jaydunk's at 194, Albert's at 196, so he is battling back. And I think it's legs. Albert now into Jaydunk's eco with some legs. He has shut down some of Jaydunk's farm production. He's now down to 15, Jaydunk is. 15 on food. Albert scraping up this stone. That's going to be so costly because he knows how to use towers. That's going to help him later in the game. Winning now. This area up by 2 o'clock. Laying down towers. He's going to get this. Question is, can Jaydunk fall back to this position and hold it? Albert moving a lot of legs into the peril of this tower raid. Jaydunk beating him. Jaydunk now moving legs down around to the bottom. Gonna try to challenge that maybe 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock position. Still moving down. He's having to route his legs all the way around. And that's just gonna delay any gains he can make. But it's kind of a necessary evil. Jaydunk laying down more towers, just trying to shore up this main farming area. Got Vills on stone. 212 now, 212 to 135, so Jaydunk has the numbers still. That advantage for that Albertoha was building has shrunk a little bit. Jaydunk with a couple of legs into Albert's eco, but Albert with so much stone, able to throw down towers and protect his home eco. Not much value to that raid because of the towers. Jaydunk kind of oh, he has discovered this tower array that Albert spent some stone to put up, and I think he's going to take them all down. 21 now for Jaydunk on food. Albert painting some towers. Not sure that's a worthy investment, except that he can capture that area. And if he can build the eco, he can pump more legs out of that area. But he's robbed that stone. Jaydunk can no longer access it. These towers are kind of blocking access to Jaydunk's second stone. Jaydunk now pushing right down the middle. This is something... Ooh, but it's costly for him because there's so many towers battering those legs down, and he sees it now. He decides he's not going to do that. Albert has converted all that stone to towers, creating a problem for Jaydunk if he wants to paint into that area around 6 o'clock. Albert with more stone, more towers. I think he's used up all of his available stone now, so he just needs to work with what he's got. Jaydunk with 2,000 stone in the bank. He's just not been using towers as effectively as Albert has. Can you not go ballistas? Kiss of Death, you cannot. This is DM Show War, and the rules are no walls, no ballistia. No Helopolis, in fact. Yep. And Jen said it better. You're just restricted to those units. Wow. Albert now getting sandwiched between two of Jaydunk's leg fronts, and he sees it. He's going to back up. The thing is, he'll soon be aided by his towers on a hill, so he can kind of just bounce back and forth here all day. Okay, we have a stalemate. Again, stalemate at 2 o'clock. Legs on legs, towers on towers. Nobody's really doing anything there. The battle has to be won right here. And Albert can raid. He can just run his legs right past Jaydunk's and get into the eco if he wants to. Albert spending his last stone, it seems? No, he has fills on stone somewhere. Okay, alright, now he's out of stone. 800 stone to work with. Albert put another tower down, which Jaydunk has to deal with. But Jaydunk with the numbers down by 6 o'clock. Yep. Boobs, our resident Frenchie and expert in all things Age of Empires, has just noted that Albert does have the gold, so if this goes long, he has a distinct advantage. Jaydunk now moving down towards 6 o'clock again. Seems to think there's some value to this, and I think he's right. He really just needs to paint buildings. Does he have the wood for that? He does. Jesus. 38 bills on wood. Get some on stone, bud. Right now, he could be scraping up that stone and nobody would know, but it's hard to see that. Jaydunk moving forward now, challenging Albert's bills on the hill. Tenuous position. He's brave, but will he succeed? Bonjour, says Jen. Alright, again, Jaydunk claiming 6 o'clock for his own. Albert sitting at home, massing up. Both players are now starting to just try to find their game. The game state is kind of settled now, and it's something of a stalemate. They need to figure out where they go, how they go about it. Albert moving some vills forward now. And Jaydunk, I think he's going to go for a sandwich move. Trying to bait Albert's legs down toward him, and then he's going to hit that. No, he's just going for the eco. Going for the eco again. He wants to get through. He wants that. He's not giving up until he gets it. Albert probably with the numbers here between towers and leg units, so this is going to settle down. The action is really here. And is this going to get him any value? 232. Albert's got the houses. This isn't going to do much. Jaydunk moving north, now chasing Albert's vills backward. Albert finding the hill. Jaydunk fighting him on the hill. And it's, wow, about half and half. 4 towers peppering Jaydunk's legs, though. Still a problem. Does have the numbers. He can probably push forward there if he wants it. Albert now massing, ready to try to raid Jaydunk's eco. He found it before. He wants to get back there and try again. Jaydunk, yeah, that leg mass pretty much neutralized by some reinforcements for Albert. But Albert thinks there's more back there than what there probably really is, and he has converted a lot of legs backward to try to clean that up. Maybe just over-clicking. The war again on the hill. Albert seems to have enough numbers. Oh boy, oh boy. So close, and these pop numbers are just huge. And you can tell because I'm starting to lag out a bit. Have I dropped any frames? No. No frames dropped. This is a great game. What a game. Alright, Jaydunk still with nobody on gold. Albert with 23 on gold. He's starting to scrape it up. Albert's legs not engaging. Interesting. Flag issue. Albert with a huge horde of legs trying to move into Jaydunk's eco. Met, though, by tower fire and a rats blocking that choke point. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. What a deal. Albert with a ton of military, though. A ton of legs he could be using right now. Will he move forward? And he cleans up this incursion on the right side at 2 o'clock by Jaydunk as well. Jaydunk with some legs trying to take down this tower array. That could spell trouble for Albert if he's able to get in there and clean it up. And he seems to notice because he's starting to route his legs into that direction. Problem is these towers can also probably hit those legs. Jaydunk recognizing the trouble. Albert's trying to cause it 6, going back to clean it up again. Albert pushing Jaydunk back at 2. Now retreating. Now Jaydunk retreating as well, and they're just going to try to find the safety of their towers. Alright, let's look at timeline. 214 to 215, dead even. Let's look at the variations here. Jaydunk with a momentary advantage. Albert clawing it back. Wow. This is something. This gets difficult because at this point in the game you need to handle eco, and handling 2 fronts at the same time is, well, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. Does Jaydunk now have the numbers to take down these towers? It seems he might, because he has the hill, too. Albert having to fight uphill to defend his towers. Jaydunk with some mass numbers, beating Albert coming down the choke point as well. Wow, he might be closing this section out. Albert massing on the hill, getting ready for an incursion. Jaydunk wisely just retreating back to the safety of his towers and focusing on what matters, what he can actually do something with. Albert has fought back, and he has recovered. And Boobs looking somewhat prophetic here. I think that's the way it's going to go. Yeah, Jay definitely needs to tower more. Problem is, he's got precious little stone, and nobody can really get to it still. Jaydunk choosing to fight uphill. I think maybe feeling some desperation now, feeling like he needs to get somewhere with this, and Albert coming forward to claim gold. Still plenty of gold for Jaydunk. Still things he can do, but he needs to find some kind of advantage, and he really doesn't have it. Albert kind of sacrificing some legs down this choke point again, recognizing it, retreating. It's just been a real back and forth. Timeline again. Look at actual numbers, 235 to 232. Still pretty much a stalemate. I was saying this yesterday during Bacavelli versus DoCxHoliDaY, but these games can just get so grueling, man. It's just such a long game sometimes. Oof. Jaydunk charging forward, chasing Albert's Bills off the goal. Albert's Bills retreating to a safe distance. Seems like he'll have the numbers, Albert, to fix this problem yet again. Jaydunk just hasn't been able to mass up enough numbers to make a difference here. More towers now for Jaydunk. He's starting to paint some down. Will he actually be able to get in here at some point? Albert seeing it. Jaydunk pushing legs forward to counter. Enough tower cover now where Jaydunk might be able to do something there. Problem is, Albert now has the numbers down by 6 o'clock, and Jaydunk has very little to respond to it. Albert recognizing this and moving forward now. Blue is not out of gold, no. He's probably got another 1,000 or so to mine there. Oh man, this is dangerous. Albert seeing now he's got an opportunity, and he's moving in to this farming eco of Jaydunk. Jay has 80 on food, so this won't bother him much, but it'll still be an issue. You don't want to lose bills at this point. Big war happening back at 2 o'clock. More red than blue. Albert cleaning up Jaydunk's legs and charging down the hill. Jaydunk committing legs to this incursion from Albert, and I think he'll win this. Jaydunk just losing legs. Albert back on gold. And look at the range on these towers. Towers plus this leg mass will, I think, win the day. Yeah, he'll win that. Albert now pushing forward again with a leg push. This is going to push the timeline in Jaydunk's favor, I imagine, but can he do something with it? That's the question. Man, this timeline's just staying very, very level. Albert still trying to push in. Yep. Jen is calling it. She's saying that Albert's got this locked up. I think that is unfortunately correct. Jaydunk's eventually going to run out of resources. Let's check. Gold position, 28 on gold. I think he's probably just about out. Did that say, oh boy, yeah, he's going to run out soon. Wow. Well, you hate to see it go this way. But Jaydunk made really good use of his map as it was handed to him. I said early that maybe this is a good read opportunity, but it was like 2 minutes 38 seconds by the time I said that. So it's a problem with 2.0. Just time moves so quickly. Wow, big mass here. Jaydunk has the numbers to win this. Has the numbers to win this for right now, but Albert with way more reinforcements. I think we should see the timeline has shifted in his favor now. Kind of. I think it just comes down to ego. He's got way more legs on the board than Jaydunk does. Yeah, he does. For sure. Ooh, this is interesting. Is Jaydunk getting ready to set up? Mine that stone? No? And he's really opened his area up. He's taken down a couple of forests. He's got so much wood. 55 on wood. Is he just trying to clean an area for himself? Is that what's going on here? Meanwhile, Albert... just massing, just biding his time. Maybe just testing, probing, prodding, backing up. And he definitely has the advantage of time. He's got those vills on gold, and then you've got this central gold mine here, and he has vills on it now, so he's cleaning that up too. Jaydunk pressing forward yet again, trying to claim this hill, maybe for the final time. No gold left for Jaydunk, so whatever he does here needs to be successful, or he's gonna have to call it. But Albert with the numbers, and he's going to Jaydunk now retreating, seeing that that's not gonna work. Yep, Kiss calls it. I'm gonna have to agree, but well, very game effort here from Jaydunk. Trying one more time on the 2 o'clock position. Seemed like he retreated maybe a little bit. Those 4 towers, though, just being so effective. Albert massing up huge now, down toward the 6 o'clock position. Getting ready to push. 3 legs moving into Jaydunk's eco down by 6 o'clock. Albert still repelling Jaydunk on the hill. It just isn't happening. And, alright, we finally starting to see some timeline shift. We are. Okay, so I think we're starting to see the end here, fellas and ladies. Albert now with like a 20 leg mass moving into Jaydunk's 4 o'clock, or 5 o'clock eco rather. Still slurping up that gold in the forward position. And Jaydunk may not see it quite yet, but he does. And he calls it. Wow. Okay. Good game, says Albert. Good game. But it's not over yet, because we have game 4 coming up. Yeah, it's 2-1 for Albert. 2-1 for Albert. Wow. All right, so let's check stats here. Kills, well, very, very close. Eco, you can see there the big margin on gold mine for Albertoha, which is a big deal with Cho. Those units are so cheap. And he had a little bit of a bump here around the 12-minute mark for Jaydunk, but he just couldn't capitalize on it. So Albertoha, game 3. Okay, games 3 for Albert, 1 for Jaydunk so far. Albert starting at about a 11 o'clock position. Jaydunk starting at a 7 o'clock position. They are pretty close together too. Traditional start for Albert, 3-4 TCs. Jaydunk Fourth TC going down a little faster on the draw this time. Last game he had some trouble with his bills scattering. He wasn't directing them appropriately. Some of them now, I think he's house scanning again. Trying to figure out where he goes. Albert moving toward the middle of the map. Jaydunk moving toward the middle of the map. So they're going to face each other pretty soon. Not really sure why that happened. Oh. Wow. They're gonna have to share some land here for a while. Who will pump out the first leg? They're gonna clash pretty quick, right around the same time. Leg out for Jaydunk. Albert now moving down toward Jaydunk's eco. Rough. Towering behind. Jaydunk with a tower of his own. I wonder if he'll see this. Conflict. One tower versus one tower in the center. Two towers now unanswered by Jaydunk. Jaydunk seeing it now. Will he finally get the hint? I don't know, man. Trying to paint towers now underneath fire from Albertoa. I just don't think that's going to work. Nope. But we do have a very heavy conflict in the middle. And there's just precious little room here. And Jaydunk... That was a bad idea, says Jen. Jaydunk really needs to paint this hill. Needs to paint it up good. Right. No! Oh, man. Jaydunk calls it. Okay. Well. Yeah, that was fast. But I think what happened here... is last game was very grueling. All the games have been very grueling, and eventually you run into some fatigue, and Jaydunk probably just felt like, oh, this is going to be an uphill battle. Well, that's a bummer. I don't think Jaydunk would have done that. I don't think he would have called it like that in game one. It's just, I'm sure that he's tired. And that's what happens with Cho War. Yep. All right. So there we go. Congratulations to Albertoa, who will be moving on to round 2.